617-830-4750. Let's go next to the 609 area code. 609, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Dave, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we hear a lot of slippery slope talk in regards to the Second Amendment. If they can pick apart if progressives are allowed to dismantle the Second Amendment or change it, could the alt-right then proceed to do a lot of damage to a lot of progressive, progress that's been made?
Like
What I
what?
want to
What do you
talk
have in
about
mind? I mean, so if I understand the question correctly, you're saying if the left is able to pass gun safety legislation, would that in some way enable the right to undo progressive progress? But like, what are you thinking of specifically?
well, legislation, that's all a matter of interpretation. Actually, my question today, or comment, has to do with the First Amendment uh, in regards to the Russian or alleged Russian hacking. What I want to know is if people can be censored on what they're saying, does that create a slippery slope? Uh, all the Russians did, because to my knowledge, there's been no evidence whatsoever of a single vote actually being flipped and changed. And I understand that it was indeed a hostile country like Russia that flooded, Facebook basically, and other social media with a lot of propaganda.
Yeah.
Propaganda has always been used in warfare, I understand, but that's all it is propaganda. Is the issue the propaganda, or is the issue the feeble-minded Americans that were so susceptible to it? And if we were to coddle or to swaddle these feeble-minded Americans, exactly how far does that go? You're now censoring what people can say. Who's to say that it's going to be limited to just Russian operatives or the nationalists that were
Okay, got it,
indicted?
got it, got it. I think
Who's to say
I
that?
think I
Okay,
understand the
you got
question.
me?
I think I understand the
All
question.
right, go
So
ahead.
there's a couple different issues here, right? One is you're spot on. How was such a significant portion of the American public so stupid as to vote for Donald Trump, such that a foreign influence propaganda campaign might have made the difference? That's a really, really good question to be asking. It's separate from just the legality of foreign dollars influencing American elections, right? We can debate whether that should or shouldn't be the law, and we can also debate how sad it is that so many Americans were bamboozled by Trump's own propaganda and Russian propaganda supporting him. But we do have laws about the financing of elections, and those laws, at least as far as the indictments are concerned from Robert Mueller, those laws were broken. So it's two different things, and it's important not to conflate them, you know?
Well, that's all they're saying is propaganda, or at least that's what I'm hearing. Financing, okay, so maybe they paid for their propaganda,
That's
but
right. That's exactly right. That's a way
again, it's a
that would be a
slippery slope.
violation of campaign finance law.
And where does that end?
It
What
ends.
about
I mean, you can look at the law
what
and see
about
where it ends,
publishers?
I guess.
If I'm not mistaken, I forget the exact guy's name, but there was a publisher that yanked. I think he was a radio host that yanked his book off of the publication list because he had a lot of Nazi alt-right sentimentology in it. Is that not
Sentimentology. Okay.
akin to modern day book burning?
No, it's not. I mean, it's a private business deciding that it's bad business for them to publish that book. You know, I think this is the problem, and I got to run. You're conflating like three or four different issues and making them all part of the same slippery slope argument, which is in and of itself sort of logically fallacious. So I try to disaggregate some of these issues and sort of think through them in a slightly different way. Like a publisher saying we don't want to do business with a writer because of the content of the book is not the same as campaign finance laws, and none of it has anything to do with the Second Amendment. So I disaggregate some of these issues.
Well, life very much indeed is very complicated.
Yes, it
All
is.
right, Dave. Well, you go ahead and run along.
All right, I'll
Thanks
run
a
along.
lot.
Thank you. Appreciate you releasing me to live my life. I appreciate that. We'll take a quick break, and we will be back with more of your phone calls after this. If you're holding, don't hang up because we're going right back to the phones after the break.